Muscle Science for Women.
Welcome.
I'm Ashley. That's Rachel.
Muscle
We're here to be your
Science for
friends. We're here to be
Women.
your buff-ish. We're trying to be buff. I don't know.
Buff-ish?
We're kind of buff. I feel
Can
like
we
we're pretty
rename our
buff.
podcast to
The buff,
Buff-ish?
the buffish show. I don't
The
think that rolls.
Buffish Woman.
It just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. But I don't know. We can workshop it.
Okay.
Someone
Sounds good.
tells me.
Our next workshop.
Someone tells me, and by someone I mean you and your Instagram, that you were in Vegas last weekend and still possibly recovering. You went to a music festival. How was it?
Oh man.
There were
It
no
was a
windstorms blowing you
time.
away.
No, there were no windstorms. Oh, whoa,
Good.
you just disappeared. There we go. It was a time. I mean, first of all, it's Vegas, so that's just like,
Always
of course.
good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So EDC, have you heard of it?
I have heard of it. I mean, that
Electric
EDM music
Daisy
isn't
Festival.
really like my jam per se. I mean, I like a little bit of pretty much all music, but it wouldn't necessarily be my thing. But with that said, it did look like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my friend, one of my really close friends in my group, I don't think you didn't meet her. She wasn't at the beach last week because she was in Vegas getting ready for the festival.
Nice.
She basically runs one of the biggest shows in it. And so she was able to like get us all like free passes and like
So cool.
VIP, like all this stuff. And the tickets are pretty expensive for like a 3-day pass. I think it's like 600 or something. I don't even know. So it was pretty cool. Like we got hooked up with all that, which, was just like, okay, yeah, we got to go. But before that, I was like, why am I like, I don't even listen to house or EDM. Like, why am I like, I was like, I don't even know what to expect. I'm just going to go because all my friends are going. Like, it's going to be fun. It's Vegas. And I had so much fun. And I definitely like my views of EDM completely changed because there's a lot of different types of music that or artists that are like redos of songs that I love, and the way that they kind of redo them and like put that flair on it is super cool and upbeat. And I made a playlist literally yesterday on Spotify that I'll share with you.
Yeah, share it with
that
all of
has
us.
Yeah, we'll share. It's called the Come Down. Just because after you go to like a big festival like this with all your friends, afterwards you're like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I don't know what real life is anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like all upbeat, like fun songs. I'm curious to hear what you think about it.
Yeah.
Because there's like a big range of music, of EDM music. I'm not a huge fan of just like the oons, oons, oons with like no words. Like that's not my jam. But when it's like, have you heard the song Sunshine by I don't even know how you say his name, Wookie, Wuki. Anyway, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It's like an upbeat song. Like those are my jams, and you're like dancing and like the lights and the bass, like it's just so much fun. So anyway, it's basically a playground for adults. If you think of like a huge festival, there's like rides and all that stuff, which I didn't go on. But it is humongous. It's at a racetrack in Vegas, so it's like a little bit away from the strip, and they just like create this, I don't even know how to explain it, just like this magical place. That's the words.
How
Like
come you didn't go on any
magical.
rides?
There was just so much to do. We didn't even see half of it. We went for 2 days because it starts at night and then it literally goes till sunrise. Like it starts at 5 p.m. and it goes till I think 9 a.m. or something. Personally did not make it to sunrise either of the days I went, but Alex did.
Wow.
One day.
That's intense,
I was
man.
ready the first day. The first day I was ready to go and she was not. And then the second day she was ready and I was like, I'm not. So we were on opposite schedules. And then half of our friends too, like the first day, half of them were like, I'm going home at like 4 a.m. And I was like, I want to stay. And then it was the opposite.
Okay. Well,
yeah. Anyway, I could talk about this all day, but it was fun. It was cool. If you don't know what EDC is, look it up.
It sounds like an awesome time. It looked super fun. And I will say, like, even if certain music, whatever, isn't your style, there is something about like these kind of like festivals and live events that you enjoy. Like I've gone to so many concerts where the band, I was like, eh. And then when I go, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is amazing because their live performance is so good, or just like the energy of being around a lot of other people
The
is so
energy.
good.
That's
So,
it. Yeah.
and like even
And
like I
they,
feel the same
yeah.
way about like sports. Like there's a lot of sports that I don't care about at all, but when I go watch it live, I'm like, this is amazing because it's the energy,
Yeah.
right? It's cool.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things, one of this one's particular, it's like their theme is like all are welcome. Like there's no judgments. Like everybody is just there to have a good time and just to like literally be happy and
That's cool.
dance and like enjoy the lights. And that was like the cool, one of the coolest parts of it.
I
Just
like
like
it.
very happy energy. So yeah.
I will say, just to inject some negativity into this, though, I will say that just wait for it,
Absolutely.
okay? You're in the your come down phase, so get ready for the negativity. It's always tongue in cheek negativity with me, okay? But it's there. It's part of my DNA. I will say, like the turning songs that you love into like dance versions, I almost like uniformly hate that. Like, because when you hear a song and it's your song and you love it, and then somebody does like an EDM version of it, you're like, get out of here. Like that's just me anyway. We should do a poll on social media or something about like, do you like, because depending on your taste, you either like the original or you like the like dance mix version of it. But
Yeah.
I'm getting to the age where like the music that I loved in like the 90s or early 2000s is now being remixed by some weird young people. And I'm just like, this is garbage. I hate it. And I think that that's like totally a generational thing. Like you're always going to
Yeah.
love the music of your youth, and anybody who tries to recreate it is it's going to be a inferior version, right? But maybe again, I know
Yeah.
there are people listening who agree with me, and then there are people listening who are like, ugh, that's just, you suck, you know? But
So I would totally, that's the thing. Like I would have totally agreed with you before
yeah,
last weekend
yeah,
because once you're in the space of like everybody's like dancing and lights are going and it's just like the bass is dropping at certain points and you're like,
oh, this is
whoa,
cool.
like
Yeah,
that is really
yeah.
legit. Like that's cool. So I think maybe I need to take you to a music festival.
I mean, listen,
And
if
also
you
yeah.
you
If
put
you
the
asked
right
me 2 years
chemicals in my
ago,
body, I would do it. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. I need the right chemicals,
yeah,
otherwise I'm going to sleep. Okay,
yeah.
anyway,
The music, yeah.
I
Anyway, we
will
don't have to
listen
talk
to your
about this forever,
playlist.
but
I
yes,
will
I'm gonna
listen to
send
your
you a playlist and
playlist.
I want to hear like which songs you're like, oh, those are good, and like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Okay.
So
Okay. This will
we'll
be
see.
fun. Okay, let's do it. All right, let's get
Anyways,
on to teaching stuff and whatever. Um, we've got an email here. This is kind of a long one. This will be like a case study one. We'll do another one of these case study
Mhm.
episodes and see if people like this. So this is from Catherine, and I'm just going to read, I think, most of this because I think this is a good one to dive into. She says, my name is Catherine. I've recently become a listener to your podcast, and you two are incredibly knowledgeable. Thanks, Catherine. High five.
Thank
Okay.
you.
This is why I'm desperately seeking your advice. I feel my situation is extremely unusual, and I would ask you to please accept everything I tell you as 100% truthful. Okay. She says people exaggerate how much they exercise and how little they eat, and it can be inaccurate. That is true. She's saying, I'm 55 years old. I was overweight as a teenager. I went through extreme starvation dieting and rigorous cardio at 19 and lost about 95 pounds. Amazingly, I've managed to keep the weight off through 35 years of an extremely disciplined lifestyle, no exceptions ever. I have eaten around 1,200 to 1,400 calories for this period of time, and I have maintained my weight. I also work out 7 days a week with 4 days of cardio and 3 days of strength training. Menopause that occurred 5 years ago resulted in about 3 to 4 pounds of weight gain. I've been intermittent fasting, increasing the heaviness of my weights, increasing protein intake with absolutely no results. I've also tried reducing calories and no results. I can tell my body fat percentage has increased. I don't know what else to do. I eat no sugar, no red meat, try to get 100 grams of protein a day, and eat an extremely clean whole foods diet. If you have any suggestions or advice, I would be so incredibly grateful. I have a feeling that through decades of undereating and overtraining, I have ruined my metabolism. Help. Okay. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Go
I
ahead.
have one.
Fix it. No.
I have an answer
Yeah.
that is the first thing that pops in my head that it's going to be one of those answers that, wow, that's very simple, but it's not necessarily easy, especially for someone who's, you know, been dealing with this and gone through this extreme for a long time. She mentioned I have been intermittent fasting, increased the heaviness of my weights, like lifting weights, increased protein intake, and absolutely no results. I've also tried reducing calories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so nowhere in there did I read I have tried increasing calories. Did I miss that?
Nope, you did not.
Okay, so that's my answer. Is have you tried to actually spend time eating enough calories for a long enough period of time without intermittent fasting? Because it sounds like your body is just pissed off because it's like, hey, you have stressed me out. So I'm not, this is not like throwing shame or anything like that. This is just like
The
how our
physiology of
bodies
it.
react,
Mm-hmm.
physiology, right? I've done this to my body, right? Many of the people listening to this podcast have done this to their body. Your body is pissed off at you because it's like, hey, you have put me under so much stress for so long from all different angles, overtraining, undereating, overstressing from a mental standpoint, all the things, right? And it's like, I've had enough. So I am not going to respond to you until you give me more fuel to use to bring me out of this kind of deep hole that we have dug over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Even eating more protein is not going to be like the answer if you're not eating enough calories. And that's simple. It's a simple answer. But I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying that you can just go eat more calories. And this is where hiring a coach and also working through, probably hiring a coach and a therapist together is going to be the best, absolute best option, because I'm a coach, Ashley's a coach, but we are not therapists. Therapists are also not nutrition coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So those two things together are, in my eyes, the answer. And then also being okay with it taking a few years to get to a point where you do start to see results again. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yes. All of that.
That's my answer.
I mean, there's a couple things here too. Like, it sounds like Catherine knows the answer and is hoping that people like us might reinforce that, right? Because she says her last sentence is saying, undereating, overtraining, I'm worried it ruined my metabolism. So, on one hand, you're not ruined. We can fix things, we can improve things. But your intuition that undereating and overtraining has caused some problems is probably very likely true. And your point, Rachel, about the therapy thing, like, my initial thought was like, there is such a mental component to this where, and we don't know the story and we don't know why, but at a young age, when your body was developing, you had negative feelings or were told negative things that made you starve yourself. And I'm sorry that that happened to you. That sucks. And that's not fun. And it's not okay for people to have to take that on at a young age as your body is developing. And it seems like it's something that has been pervasive your entire life. And, you know, you're saying no exceptions to your diet or your training ever. Like, that sounds like a rigidity that is a defense mechanism. And it sounds like something that is really hard, and that, you know, you maybe, I don't know if you don't feel like you can or are able to be less rigid, but part of being a really, really healthy, robust person is having some flexibility and some adaptability and not having to be exactly 100% one way all the time or you fall apart, right? And I mean that from a mental, emotional, and a physical standpoint. So I completely agree that being able to talk to somebody, a professional, about your feelings, about how you grew up and how you ate when you were a kid and how you feel about your body, and maybe your discomfort with potentially eating more and all of those things, would be really, really important. And while you're doing that, and getting a coach would be great. But before you even get a coach, some of these high level things, like you said, Rachel, you mentioned all of these things about not eating that much and having this super restrictive diet, and you don't even write the words, maybe should I eat more? Or I've tried to eat more for a little bit and I got scared. Like that wasn't even in your vocabulary. And that's what we tell people to do all the time. Catherine's another example of somebody I would say, like, go back and listen to a bunch of episodes, because you're going to start filling in some blanks pretty quickly. The other thing too is like the menopause piece may be, again, your body telling you like, we're not doing this anymore. Like I put up with this for a long time because when you did, and I don't know what hormonal issues, if any, you had while you were, pre-menopausal, but when your hormones all bottom out and all this protective estrogen and all of these things that are kind of keeping you going for so long are sort of maybe not there anymore, you need to support your body more than ever, by eating more and exercising less. That's the other thing. Maybe instead of worrying about increasing the heaviness of your weights, stop doing cardio. Stop it. Go for walks at the most.
I would even, at this extreme too, I would even stop. Like I would stop everything and go.
There is a real mental health component. Yeah, the walking.
No.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, we don't want to stop walking.
No. I meant like stop, like bring your weight,
Training.
your lifting weights down, your training. And it's obviously, again, this is another thing. Like it's simple to say, it's not easy to do. If someone told me to stop, and I have been told to, and I have done this, reduce my training, like even to just 1 day a week of lifting weights, I have gone through a period of time. It was a shorter period of doing that. When I was dealing with like some of the gut stuff a few years ago, or year, I don't even know anymore how long ago was that. But like my body was just under so much stress that even if it's a good stress, it was still causing more stress. So even though the lifting weights and stuff is a good stress, it was still a stress. And so there's at some point when you hit this kind of, like you're literally on the edge, like you're about to tip over, you've already gone over the edge. Your body is just, no matter what stress it gets, it's going to reject it. And so this is where we kind of have to like reboot, like power yourself down, hold that button until the screen goes off. I don't know why I'm saying this. This is what I did to my computer this morning because it was giving me issues.
Turn it off and turn it back on again.
Yeah. Let it chill for like a minute and then turn it back on and gradually start to increase things. And sometimes we need that complete reboot to like feel what it feels to feel normal again. And then you can start to add some things in. So
another analogy, because Rachel's always good with the analogies, is like, again, even if you maybe aren't in a place to hire a coach right away or something, the common sense of try, if what you've been doing for so long is now not working and in fact harming you, try the other thing. Try the thing you haven't tried. Like I picture in my head like a newspaper cartoon of like a person trying to open a door and it says pull, and they're pushing and they're pushing and they're pushing, and they don't think to do the opposite thing of what obviously isn't working. And then they'll like break the door down with a battering ram and smashes it to smithereens. And it's like, you could have just pulled the door, but so many of us don't think about it. And because there is that mental, emotional, that habitual thing, you've been doing one way, you've been pushing the door for 30 years, but what's the worst that could happen? If you're already in a bad place and you've gained, and again, like there's so many things to unpack here, but like 3 to 4 pounds weight gain, if that's really all it is, and that's
gain that overnight.
And that's like throwing you for a loop. Again, this isn't judgmental, but it's like 3 to 4 pounds is nothing. That is not a sign of poor health. That is not a sign of going off the rails. That is literally, like you said, it's like being dehydrated and eating too much pizza the day before is a gain of 4 pounds. That's not a thing.
Or going to the bathroom is a loss of
exactly.
Like there's so many components.
So that's like that again kind of points to like maybe more the mental component of like, if that is enough to really throw you in a tailspin, that's something that we need to work on and unpack. But going back to this, if you've been doing this stuff and you're feeling like it's not working, it's actually harming me now, this is a problem, the only kind of common sense first step is like, do the opposite of what you've been doing. So if you've been restricting and training really, really hard without ever taking a break, let's go the other way, eat some more. And I know I can tell just by who this person is, like, you're not going to go and say, okay, they told me to eat more, I'm going to go buy a bunch of donuts and chips. Like, eat more healthy food. Maybe think
Mm-hmm.
about some fats. To your point at the end there, Catherine, about you never eat red meat, maybe try eating some red meat because it's a health food and it is very
Yeah.
nutrient dense. If it doesn't, if it doesn't sit with you personally, that's another thing. But generally speaking, red meat is a great thing to have in your diet. Um, Eat some more food. Don't work out so hard. Go for walks, be outside. Think about the sort of mental component of it, but just again, try something other than what you're doing because it's not working. And the other thing I'll say to kind of end off on this is to make you maybe feel a little bit better. You're an extreme case, maybe, but your situation is not extremely unusual. Like you wrote at the top, I think my case is extremely unusual. Don't feel alone. Don't feel like you're the first person to have gone through this. You are absolutely not. It's extremely common. And I know, Rachel and I have both probably seen very similar cases with our clients over the years. Time and again, I've seen very, very similar stories to this. So you're not alone. It can be improved. It can be fixed. You can do it. It's worth doing, even though it's very difficult. And you might just be amazed at the freedom and the happiness that comes on the other side of the discomfort you're going to feel when you make these changes, right? It could be the worst thing that happens is maybe it doesn't help for some reason and you're still where you are. The best thing that could happen is you completely change your life for the better and
Mm-hmm.
feel better and gain health. So I hope that happens for you and we wish you the
Same.
best of luck. But yeah, I mean,
Same.
there's a lot to go with that one. There's a lot. So
Yeah,
maybe she can write us back and let us know what happens. Keep us posted.
for sure. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck, Catherine. Okay. We got another question and it has
We do?
running in it. Yeah, we've got time for another question. Uh we can do
I'm
it. We can
fading.
do it. And then I gotta go pee and eat, but we
Okay,
can do
well
this first.
let's talk about
Our sponsor?
yeah.
What a smart cookie you are. Just reminding us that we have
I
sponsors.
want a cookie.
I know, I want a cookie too. Our sponsor is not a cookie company, sadly. Any protein health cookie companies out there, hit us up.
That are good.
Yeah, that are good. Our sponsor is Paleo Valley, and they do make
Yeah.
bars that are actually
Oh
pretty
yeah.
good.
That
Like,
tastes a little like a
listen,
cookie.
I I mean, it's a stretch, but they're good. They are good. They're Whole Foods bars. I give them to Magnus all the time. Um, their big thing is like, if you are going to be comfortable with supplements, like a lot of people are, and if you are comfortable with sort of the packaged, like to go healthy kind of snacks, this is the way to do it because it's all fermented food, super healthy. It's all like
Mhm.
ingredients that you can recognize and pronounce, even the supplements, right? Like they're omega-3, it's like a fish roe, it's like a desiccated fish
Mhm.
roe pill. They've got vitamin C supplements that are whole food based. So if you do feel like you want to use supplements and go with supplements, this is definitely the way to go.
Mhm. And
um,
beef and turkey and chicken sticks.
yeah, which are also delicious and fermented and
Yes.
really good. They're great.
So easy on the go.
Yes.
I will say, because one of my like I I can't form words, but I will try.
Okay.
One of my clients yesterday asked about a protein bar that I would recommend just for like on the go to like literally keep in her purse. And I said, oh hey, Paleo Valley, they have bars, but they also have the jerky
Yeah.
sticks, and they make both beef, turkey, and chicken. So if you don't eat or like beef, they have those options too. And
Mm-hmm.
literally, you can just throw them in your bag and keep them there when you need something.
Yeah.
And they, like you said, they're good ingredients, just super, super convenient. And I have one. Like we had them at the beach,
Yeah.
the other week. I had them in my backpack, sticking out the side.
Yeah.
And I did have one. I was like, I need something, and it's just so easy and convenient. So
Mm-hmm. Their
definitely
bars,
recommend.
I recommend the chocolate one, the chocolate chip one. That one actually is pretty cookie adjacent. And they also have a lemon. It's like a lemon meringue flavored or whatever, but it's like real lemon. It's really good. And
Hmm.
again, these aren't like, the typical GNC protein bars that are like 30 grams of protein and like 1 gram of net carbs because they are like whole foods. Like there's pumpkin seeds in these and like they're
Hmm.
real food. They're chewy and they're tasty and they don't have like a, fake sort of sugar alcohol kind of vibe. But they're really just good kind of again, if you need snacks, if you need something that's convenient, they're good quality. They're not going to mess with your gut and make you feel weird. So good job, Paleo Valley. Thank you for sponsoring the show. And if you guys are interested and want to stock up on some snacks, toddler friendly snacks, or just kind of check out what they have, their link that they gave us is paleovalley.com/muscle science. You will get 15% off, which is a pretty good deal. And if you use that link, you're supporting us too, because they're going to be like, oh, cool, we made a good decision sponsoring this podcast. And that's what we're going for. So, sweet. All right.
Sweet. All right. Let's do a rapid fire on this question.
Rapid fire. Okay. Julianne says, I have a question about balancing strength training with half marathon training schedule. I'm currently training for half marathon in August. I'm running 4 days a week, 2 speed hill runs, 1 long run, and 1 recovery run. I'm new to strength training, and I want to start off with 2 full body workouts per week. Is it okay to schedule these workouts on my off days, even if it means doing them the day after a speed or distance run? Or is there another way you'd recommend fitting them in?
Cool. This is your question because you are the runner.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I don't even have to talk. Yeah. I'm just going to stand here and watch you.
Okay, cool. I'll say some things and then you can Kanye your way in at the end if you have some thoughts about how I'm wrong. Okay. Congratulations on being a half marathon runner who is also caring about their strength, their muscular strength, because that is going to benefit you. Like, I think at a certain point with like real endurance runners, trying to like add muscle to their frame is actually problematic because you're basically just adding like weight and bulk at a certain point. But for the vast majority of us, like I'm more of a 10K girl, and even that's a stretch. It's good to have muscular strength. Like I just went on a run the other day, actually, and it was full of hills, and where my endurance and like cardiovascular training was failing me, my muscular strength like saved me. Like I have strong muscles, and that got me up the hill when my lungs did not want me to. So it's good to balance. I think that's really important. I think one of the first major things that you want to think about with your training is, what's your main goal? If your main goal is the half marathon training, you should be prioritizing that over the strength training at the end of the day. Because if you're doing full body exercises and they're challenging and you're sore and tired for 3 days and that's impacting your running, that might be a problem. So that's something to consider. You want to consider that you are recovering enough, because if you're, let's see, you're training 4 days a week and then 2 full body strength training days, that's 6 days a week. That leaves 1 rest day. Is that enough? Are you feeling rested? If you are going in to do a full body strength training session and you are either exhausted or sore from the run before, we're running into some problems. And Rachel, you've talked before about how it's kind of more of a gray area about like, you don't have to be perfectly recovered and not a tiny bit sore to train. And that's accurate, because in reality, sometimes we're going to be a little tired or a little sore. But if you're very tired and very sore, or if you're consistently tired and sore and still going in, you need to shake up the training a little bit and probably add some more recovery.
And you're probably going to be sore when you first bring it in too. So be prepared for that.
Yep.
No matter what.
It also would be interesting, like we had more information about what your full body workouts are. Like, is this like a 20-minute like calisthenic body weight circuit of like push-ups and lunges and pull-ups and stuff? That's different than if you're going in for 90 minutes and doing heavy split squats and deadlifts and stuff like that, right? So also something to consider. You probably want to think about the body weight training days being something that, again, is sort of supportive and conducive to your running program and not overly strenuous or arduous. You probably want to start maybe simple and lighter and smaller and kind of work up as your capacity allows. So I guess sort of to kind of just try to rapid fire wrap it up, like make sure that you are focusing on the thing you actually want to focus on, because there will be time for strength training. If you do your half marathon, you're like, damn, I love this being in the gym stuff, I'm going to go focus on that. Then you can kind of switch up your priorities. So prioritize what's important, prioritize recovery, because if you're not recovering, you're going to suck at both things, strength training and the running. And then just be smart about whatever it is that you're doing in the gym. Cool. You got anything to add there?
Yeah. No, I couldn't have said it better.
Right.
No Kanye's here.
Killing it. No Kanye's. I am so unprepared for my 10K that I'll be doing in a month, but
No, you're not. You're ready. You're fine. You're gonna crush it.
at least it's at night. I feel like literally when I try to run or
Oh my
exercise, are you like
God.
this? What?
You should just go to a rave before and then you can just dance all night and you will literally get so much endurance and it's
Or
at the right time of the day. So
or
you'll
I can
just be
run
super
to
prepared.
your Spotify playlist. Maybe that's the missing link. Maybe I just
Oh,
needed some EDM
shoot.
music to run to because I'm very
Let's
big
go.
on like the
Sending to you right
BPM,
now.
right? It has to be the right beats per minute. But I think it's gonna save me the fact that it's at night because truly, like my body doesn't want to exercise before 11 a.m. It's just like,
Yeah.
don't do this to me. And by the nighttime, I'm kind of like getting in the groove. So I think I'll be okay.
I'm the complete opposite.
God, how
Complete
can you
opposite.
exercise? I mean, I just like the idea of like doing a heavy deadlift at like 8 a.m. I'm just like, absolutely not.
I mean, I'm at like I used to do that, but I'm at like the 10 between 10 and noon.
Mm.
That's my jam.
I can get my head around 10 and noon, but anything before 10, no, you're not getting great
I just
great effort
sent
out of me.
you
Okay,
I just
sweet.
sent you the playlist, so
I will
let me know what you
report
think
back.
and we can, if you are listening to this and you're interested,
Yeah,
maybe we'll
maybe we'll
share it
post
on
it.
the
Yeah,
gram, but you send us a DM
I love
and
that.
we shall see.
Yeah, reach out to us on Instagram if you want. We're there. And also, if you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, hilarious anecdotes, anything you want to send us, send it to muscle science for women at gmail.com. Number 4. We'd love to hear from you.